Alright, what's up YouTube? So it's gonna be a full day of training. I haven't done a video like this in a long time. I'm not gonna lie, I've lost quite a lot, I've lost quite a lot of strength. I used to be much more stronger than this. So that's not too great. And in terms of size, actually surprisingly I gained a little bit of weight. I'm 162 right now. I'm actually used to be a lot more than that. Um, but that was also during the time when I wanted to be like a bodybuilder, right? So I was like really going full on try hard. Now I'm not really doing that anymore. But there was some point, I think it was a couple months ago, where I was like 155. So I did gain a couple of pounds of weight, so that's not too bad. Um, it seems like my bench has gotten much more weaker, which I guess would make a lot of sense, since I'm only going to the gym on the weekends now, and then on the weekdays I'm trying to do like home workouts because I get home at like 8 p.m. I'm not gonna go to the gym at 8 p.m. That's way too late. So I end up doing like some type of like calisthenics esque workout where I'm just doing like pull ups and push ups and sit ups and body weight squats. But what's surprising though is even though I guess my bench has gone down a bit, somehow my other lifts have gone stronger. Like I've gone stronger on the shoulder press. I think I've gotten stronger on my pull movements. Like right now I'm doing 145 on the lat pull down. And then on the seated lat pull down, I'm doing 145 as well. So that's pretty sweet. Maybe I'll be able to get to the 150s soon. I'm not too sure. Um, the what's it called? What's it called? Oh my god, or the barbell. That's almost forgot the freaking name of what's it called. Right, the barbell, not the dumbbell and barbell is different. Right, the barbell is like the long one with two ends. The dumbbell is the same thing, has two ends, but it's much more shorter. Right, the barbell. What's it called again? The preacher curl. Oh my god, I actually forgot the name of this shit, bro. Dude, the preacher curl. I'm doing 90. I'm not gonna go any more than 90. Like it's already. There's just no point. I don't think there's a point to preacher curl 100. I think I'm just gonna stick to 90. So that's staying 90. Hammer curls, I did move up. Doing 35s on that one. But I don't know. The reason why I don't like post too much training videos anymore is it's not because I don't like enjoy the gym and training. But it's like really repetitive and really redundant. I'm just going in there. Also, by the way, this form is atrocious. Don't worry, guys. I know. I watched this footage back, and the reason why it's atrocious is because your chest is supposed to be like as close or as tight to the pad as possible, right? The chest pad right there. So I did end up fixing that. So I've gotten much more better at that, right? And that's crazy. I've been doing this for a long time. I still have incorrect form sometimes, but that just goes to show how lackluster I've become, right? Um, but now where was I going with this? I totally forgot my train of thought before. What was it? Oh yeah, now I remember what it was. Right. The gym is like I do it to maintain my physique and in general because I'm working like general labor jobs right now, and when we're working like a general labor job, it's going to be very taxing on your body. So you have to take really good care of it, right? So I can probably work at general labor jobs for a very long time as long as I maintain that. But another interesting thing about that is I'm not too sure if I'm going to keep on doing them because I'm planning on going back to college soon. I'm not too sure. I don't want to say too much because there's no guarantee it's going to happen. But September is around the corner. My family may or may not be moving. We'll have to see what happens. If we end up moving, then for sure I'll probably end up going back to college because if I end up moving far away from my current area, then I'm gonna lose a job that I'm working at, right? Because if I'm moving far away from my workplace, I'm not gonna like travel 2 hours, commute there and back. That's gonna eat up too much time. So what will probably happen is if I do end up losing that job once we move, it's gonna take me a long time to find another job probably because it took me like 400 job applications and 10 interviews to land this one job. So my guess is the job market hasn't changed at all. Um, I know that's a very pessimistic way of looking at it, but just gotta be realistic here. I don't really know how it is. I kind of stopped. I haven't updated my resume in a very long time. Um, but that's kind of the plan. So if we do end up moving, go back to college, and I have two things in mind of what I want to do. The first pathway it's going to be healthcare related. So I'm thinking like RPN. RPN is like a registered practical nurse, but it's not like an actual registered nurse like an RN. It's not like someone who's doing a 4-year program with the BSN. The reason why I'm not jumping straight into a BSN program is, I'll be honest, man, I don't really want to take out $40,000 or $50,000 in student loans. It's like a little bit too much for me. So I think I'm rather just going to, what's it called? I'm rather just going to just start off with the RPN, and then if I want to, I can always like do a bridgeway or pathway to a BSN program, right? I know that might not be the most optimal thing. Most optimal thing is probably just go straight into a BSN 4-year degree program for nursing. But I need to get working, man. I'm 23. Technically, I still have a lot of time. But what I will end up doing, though, and I've never done this before, I have an idea. I talked to my father about this. My father agreed with my plan that I have, which is if I do end up going back to college, I need to work a part-time job while I'm in college. And for context here, I've never worked while I was in college. And the reason why is it's already like, I've always struggled with school. I think you guys know this. I talk about my videos a lot. Like I got like I mentioned it multiple times, at least 5 or more times. So it is really redundant. But you guys know I'm not really good in school. Like for me, the biggest problem I have, I think, is information just goes in and out, right? Like I'll be sitting in the lecture hall, and for the first couple of hours I can focus, but then anything more than that, the information just goes in one ear and comes out the other. So that's my biggest struggle when it comes to school. But nonetheless, I think I don't really have a choice. I think I just need to go back to school because, even though, at the place I'm currently working at, right, there's different roles. There's like a manager, there's a supervisor, team leader. In many companies and places, retail stores, restaurants, they have those openings where you can like level up or climb the ladder, so to speak. But I think it's becoming more harder and harder for that to happen, right? So that's why a lot of people are like job hopping. They're job hopping because they're not able to climb the ladder. They're not able to get in like a higher position in the company that they're working for. So what do you do let's say you're not happy with the amount of money they're getting paid? Well, you need to upgrade or you need to find a better job. And in most cases, more often than not, unless you have a lot of experience, then maybe you can get into like a manager position because you need a lot of experience. I was looking at some job postings online, like how to become a manager, where I was looking at some of the job listings for manager-related jobs, like a manager of a restaurant or like a retail store or whatever, and you need like tons and tons of years of experience, right? I don't have that. So the least they can do if you're trying to upgrade your job or again into a better position is to further your education, right? So that's the first option is RPN. I'm thinking if I don't go with the RPN, then I might choose some type of like medical technologist job. So working in like a hospital or working in a clinic, working on medical technologies, equipments, maybe some radiologist job or sonography, or some like medical tech job, right? Working on actual uh, like medical equipment and machinery, right? Although I'm not too sure, that might be a little bit more challenging, right? I'm not too entirely sure how to do something like that. But that's the first one, and that's like the safest route because healthcare is always going to be in demand. And then the second one is I'm thinking like finance. I'm thinking like accounting or business administration. There's also like marketing and advertisements, and then what else? Human resources, I think. But I don't really want to do. I guess technically, if I'm doing business administration, that's going to lead into some human resources for sure, right? Um, but no, I'm not really too interested in like the human resources side or like the marketing and advertisement side. I'm more interested in like how does a business operate? How does business profit? And I guess that's one thing about the business administration when I was looking into it. It's like a very broad degree or diploma. It's not really specialized. So that's not too great because it's not specialized. But at least if I go with that, it'll give me like a broad sense of like an overview of a business and how it operates, right? And I get to know a little bit of each aspect of finance and business through that, right? But then again, you don't necessarily need to be like the master of all trades in order to be successful, right? Most people, I guess, that are successful are just good at one thing. They're really good at that one thing. But yeah, no, I didn't even talk about any of the training in this video and this is one thing that I find like I'm haven't mastered any of this, right? I'm still learning a ton, so it's not like I mastered it, but is more so I have the discipline and I know I'm going to train. So that's the reason why, like, I used to watch a lot of like fitness videos, and stuff like that, and I just don't anymore because I end up, I figure there's no point of watching any of that anymore since sometimes I do. Sometimes from time to time I'll tune in and check up on some of the influencers I watch, see how they're doing. But for the most part, because I'm doing my own thing, I don't really like watch anybody else anymore. I'm kind of just focusing on myself. But when you are trying to learn a new thing, like right now I'm trying to take up boxing, that's different. It's a different story. It's really important because there's tons of YouTube videos how to improve your boxing, shadow boxing, um, dodging. Like I just recently learned the parry and the block, but I don't know anything about like head movement yet or how to like duck, right? Or duck or weave, right? I haven't learned any of that yet, so that's something I'm going to learn on my own. Um, I actually just recently stopped. Today was like my last day with my coach, and the reason for that is because I'm trying to save up money for college, right? And these coaching sessions are quite a bit expensive. So because of that, I decided to end that, which is not the best idea. I know is not the most optimal thing to do that. Um, but that's why I ended up deciding because I want to save up money to go back to college, right? And then once I do end up making money, like really, hopefully, I do find a part-time job and I can make money on the side. It's gonna be a lot. This is gonna be like the next big chapter in my life, I guess. So those gonna be like really, really challenging, because this is like a whole entire beast in itself, right? School, I'm already going to say, I already struggle with school enough, and then adding a part-time job with that, and then wanting to maintain my hobbies of the gym and boxing. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna do all this, but for anyone that's, but I'm gonna end it off by saying this: for anyone who's like going through a hard time right now, I'm with you, man. I can feel it for sure because even myself, it's not even like the physical aspect. I feel like physically I'm the best I've ever been, but mentally, it's like sometimes I just don't have it in me, right? There are many days, like this week, I'll be honest, I only trained like one or two times because there'll be times where I come off work or come off my shift and I go home and I'm like, man, I'm too drained. I'm just gonna go to sleep. So what I'll do is I'll just eat dinner, go to sleep, and then wake up the next day and go back to work, right? And I don't even skip the training entirely. So sometimes it's really brutal because of that. But just give it your best effort that you can. There are going to be some days where you just don't feel like doing it. And, sometimes you have to drag yourself. Many times where like, I don't want to do it, and I just end up dragging myself. Right? Sometimes it feels like you're dragging yourself to do something, but sometimes that's what's required, what's necessary. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.